Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have it all together while others stay stuck in the same financial rut year after year? You work hard, you show up every day, but somehow your wallet still feels lighter than it should. What's going on here? Is it bad luck, bad timing, or is there something deeper at play? Here's the truth. Being broke isn't just about money. It's about mindset, it's about habits, it's about choices. Choices that might feel small in the moment, but add up over time. Let me explain this to you. If you want to change what you're getting in life, you first need to take a good, long look at what you're giving. Are you investing in yourself? Are you learning new skills, reading books, or surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to grow? Or are you spending most of your time consuming things that don't move you forward? Social media, entertainment, distractions. See, success doesn't come from wishing, it comes from doing. And if you're not careful, those little daily actions can keep you exactly where you are instead of moving you closer to where you want to be. Now, think about this. How many times have you heard someone say, "I'll start saving next month," or "I'll invest when I make more money"? That kind of thinking keeps people stuck forever. Success doesn't wait for perfect conditions, it creates them. If you wait until everything lines up perfectly before taking action, you'll never get started. Wealth isn't built overnight, but it begins with consistent effort. A dollar saved today is worth far more than $10 promised tomorrow. And then there's the biggest trap of all: blaming circumstances. Some people spend their whole lives pointing fingers at the economy, at their boss, at their family, at anything except themselves. But let me tell you something. Blame doesn't fix problems. Action does. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" When you shift your focus from excuses to solutions, suddenly opportunities start showing up everywhere. Think about the company you keep too. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Their attitudes shape yours. Their habits influence yours. If they're negative, stuck, or complacent, chances are you'll be too. Surround yourself with winners, though, with people who dream bigger than their bank accounts, and watch how quickly your perspective changes. Here's another important point. Wealth isn't just about earning more. It's about managing what you already have. Too many people chase raises and promotions thinking that's the answer, only to end up right back where they started because they didn't change their spending habits. True financial freedom comes from discipline, from knowing the difference between needs and wants and making decisions accordingly. Let's talk about something fundamental. Your relationship with money. Do you respect it, or do you treat it like an afterthought? Money has rules just like anything else in life. If you ignore those rules, you can't expect to succeed financially. Think about it this way. If you planted seeds in a garden but never watered them or pulled out the weeds, would you be surprised when nothing grew? Of course not. Yet so many people handle their finances the same way. They toss money around without paying attention to where it goes or how it grows. They wonder why they're broke, but the answer is simple. They haven't taken ownership of their financial habits. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that saving money means depriving themselves. That's not true at all. Saving isn't about sacrifice, it's about preparation. It's about setting aside resources today so you can build opportunities tomorrow. Imagine if every time you earned a dollar, you split it into 3 parts: 1 part for immediate needs, 1 part for future goals, and 1 part for growth. Sounds simple, right? But most people don't even consider doing this because they're too focused on instant gratification. They buy things they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't care about. And then they wonder why they're still struggling. Here's what I want you to understand. Financial success isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. Let me repeat that because it's worth hearing twice. Financial success isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. You could make 6 figures a year and still live paycheck to paycheck if you don't manage your money wisely. On the flip side, someone making half as much could build wealth simply by being disciplined with their spending and investing. The difference isn't the income, it's the mindset. Now, let's address another critical factor: education. Not just formal schooling, but real-world knowledge. How much time do you spend learning about personal finance, about investments, about strategies for building wealth? Most people avoid these topics altogether because they find them intimidating or boring. But here's the deal. You wouldn't drive a car without knowing how to steer, would you? So why try to navigate your financial future without understanding the basics? Knowledge gives you power, power to make smarter decisions, power to avoid costly mistakes, power to take control of your destiny. The good news is, you don't have to become an expert overnight. Start small, pick up a book about budgeting, watch a video about compound interest, listen to a podcast about entrepreneurship. Little by little, you'll start piecing together the puzzle, and before you know it, you'll see patterns emerging. Patterns that will help you create a roadmap to financial freedom. Remember, no one starts as a master. Every expert was once a beginner who refused to give up. Another thing that holds people back is fear. Fear of failure, fear of risk, fear of stepping outside their comfort zone. These fears are natural, but they're also dangerous. Why? Because fear keeps you stuck. It convinces you to play it safe instead of playing smart. And playing it safe might feel comfortable in the short term, but over time, it leads to stagnation. You trade excitement for mediocrity. You settle for less than you deserve. Don't fall into that trap. Courage doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you act anyway. Take calculated risks. Learn from your mistakes. Keep moving forward. Speaking of risks, let's talk about entrepreneurship for a moment. Now, I'm not saying everyone should quit their job and start a business. That's not realistic or necessary. But I am saying that having an entrepreneurial mindset can change everything. Entrepreneurs think differently. They see problems as opportunities. They look for ways to add value. They're willing to hustle, to grind, to put in the work required to achieve their goals. Even if you stay in your current job, adopting this mindset can transform your career. Instead of waiting for promotions, create your own path. Find ways to contribute more, to stand out, to make yourself indispensable. When you approach your work with passion and purpose, success follows naturally. But here's the catch. None of this matters if you don't believe in yourself. Self-doubt is one of the biggest barriers to financial success. It whispers lies in your ear, telling you that you're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. It convinces you to lower your standards, to aim small, to settle for scraps instead of striving for abundance. Don't listen to it. Replace doubt with determination. Focus on your strengths. Celebrate your progress, no matter how minor it seems. Confidence isn't built overnight, it's cultivated through consistent effort and positive reinforcement. Let's shift gears for a minute and talk about lifestyle inflation. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to get raises only to end up spending more and saving less? That's lifestyle inflation in action. It's subtle, sneaky, and incredibly destructive. Here's how it works. You get a bump in pay, so you upgrade your car, move to a bigger apartment, or splurge on luxury items. At first glance, it seems harmless. You worked hard, so why shouldn't you enjoy the fruits of your labor? The problem is, you're trading long-term security for short-term satisfaction. Instead of using that extra income to build wealth, you're using it to inflate your expenses. Over time, this creates a cycle of dependency that's hard to break. Breaking free from lifestyle inflation requires intentionality. Make a conscious decision to live below your means. Use any additional income to accelerate your savings, pay off debt, or invest in assets that generate passive income. This might sound boring compared to flashy cars or designer clothes, but trust me, the peace of mind that comes from financial stability is far more rewarding. Plus, when you prioritize long-term growth over temporary pleasures, you set yourself up for exponential gains down the road. Now let's discuss debt for a moment. Debt is a double-edged sword. Used wisely, it can be a powerful tool for building wealth. For example, leveraging a mortgage to buy property that appreciates in value. Used recklessly, however, it can bury you under a mountain of stress and regret. Credit cards, payday loans, and high-interest financing plans are prime examples of toxic debt. They prey on impatience and instant gratification, leaving borrowers trapped in a vicious cycle of payments and penalties. If you're carrying bad debt, your first priority should be eliminating it. Cut unnecessary expenses, negotiate lower interest rates, consolidate balances if possible. Whatever it takes, commit to getting rid of that burden as quickly as possible. Once you're debt-free, resolve to stay that way, pay cash whenever you can, build an emergency fund to cover unexpected expenses, treat credit responsibly, viewing it as a tool rather than a crutch. By mastering your relationship with debt, you reclaim control over your financial future. While we're on the subject of tools, let's talk about automation. One of the easiest ways to improve your financial habits is to automate them. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account each payday. Enroll in employer-sponsored retirement plans. Use apps that round up purchases and invest the spare change. Automation removes the temptation to procrastinate or overspend because the decisions are made for you in advance. It's like setting your GPS to success. You program the destination and the system handles the rest. Of course, automation alone won't solve everything. You still need to monitor your progress regularly, review your budget monthly, track your net worth annually, adjust your strategy as needed based on changes in income, expenses, or goals. Staying informed ensures you remain proactive rather than reactive. After all, you can't steer ship unless you know where it's headed. Let's circle back to the concept of value for a moment. Wealth creation isn't just about accumulating dollars and cents, it's about creating value for others. And whether you're selling products, providing services, or sharing knowledge, the more value you deliver, the more rewards you reap. This principle applies regardless of your profession or industry. Teachers, doctors, artists, entrepreneurs, all successful individuals share a common trait. They focus on solving problems and improving lives. When you adopt this mindset, you attract opportunities that align with your mission. Value creation also extends beyond monetary transactions. Volunteering, mentoring, and contributing to your community enrich your life in ways money never could. They deepen relationships, foster gratitude, and remind you of what truly matters. Plus, helping others often opens doors you didn't even know existed. Generosity breeds reciprocity. It's a universal law that benefits both giver and receiver. At this point, you might be wondering, what about setbacks? What happens when things don't go according to plan? Great question. Setbacks are inevitable. Everyone faces challenges, disappointments, and failures along the way. The key is how you respond to them. Will you wallow in self-pity, or will you rise stronger than before? Resilience separates the winners from the quitters. It's not about avoiding storms, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Building resilience starts with perspective. Reframe obstacles as lessons, view failures as feedback. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Growth thrives in adversity because it forces you to adapt, innovate, and persevere. Each challenge you overcome adds another layer of strength to your foundation. Speaking of foundations, let's touch on health briefly. Your physical and mental well-being directly impact your financial success. Neglecting either area undermines your ability to perform at your best. Chronic illness, burnout, and stress drain your energy, productivity, and motivation. Prioritize sleep, nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness practices. Protect your greatest asset, yourself. A healthy body supports a sharp mind, which fuels consistent action toward your goals. Finally, let's talk about legacy. Why does all of this matter? What's the ultimate purpose behind building wealth and achieving success? For some, it's about leaving a lasting impact, a gift for future generations. For others, it's about gaining freedom, the ability to live life on your own terms. Whatever your reason, keep it front and center. Remind yourself daily why you're working so hard. Passion propels persistence. Purpose fuels perseverance. Align your actions with your vision and watch as momentum carries you forward. Remember, the journey to financial independence isn't linear. There will be ups and downs, twists and turns, but each step brings you closer to the life you desire. Stay patient, stay persistent, stay committed. Success belongs to those who refuse to give up. Let's talk about time for a moment. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, yet so many people waste it without even realizing it. They scroll through social media for hours, binge watch shows they don't really care about, or engage in activities that add no real value to their lives. Think about how much time you spend on things that don't move you closer to your goals. Now imagine if you redirected even half of that time toward learning, planning, or taking action. The results would be staggering. Success isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter, and working smarter starts with respecting your time. Here's a simple exercise. Track your day for a week. Write down everything you do, from the moment you wake up until you go to bed. Be honest with yourself. Where are you spending your hours? Are they going toward meaningful activities or are they slipping away unnoticed? Once you see where your time is going, you can make adjustments. Start small, cut out one unproductive habit and replace it with something constructive. Maybe it's reading 10 pages of a book instead of scrolling Instagram. Or perhaps it's dedicating 30 minutes to brainstorming ideas for a side hustle. Over time, these small changes compound into big results. Now, let's address another common issue: lack of focus. Too many people try to chase multiple goals at once, spreading themselves thin and ending up frustrated when nothing works out. They want to build a business, write a novel, get fit, travel the world, all at the same time. While ambition is admirable, trying to do too much dilutes your energy and slows your progress. Instead, pick one goal to focus on first. Pour all your effort into mastering that area before moving on to the next. Success builds upon success. When you achieve one milestone, it gives you the confidence and momentum to tackle the next. Focus also means saying no to distractions. Distractions come in many forms: people, tasks, obligations that pull you away from what truly matters. Learning to set boundaries is crucial. If someone asks for your time or energy, ask yourself, does this align with my priorities? Does it bring me closer to my goals? If the answer is no, politely decline. Protecting your focus isn't selfish, it's necessary. Remember, every yes to something unimportant is a no to something important. Another key element of financial growth is understanding the power of leverage. Leverage allows you to amplify your efforts by using tools, systems, or other people to help you achieve more than you could alone. For example, technology can automate repetitive tasks, freeing up your time for higher value activities. Delegating responsibilities to others lets you focus on your strengths rather than getting bogged down in areas where you're less skilled. Even knowledge itself is a form of leverage. The more you know, the better equipped you are to solve problems and seize opportunities. But here's the thing about leverage: it only works if you use it wisely. Blindly relying on others or outsourcing tasks without proper oversight can lead to mistakes and setbacks. Similarly, over-relying on technology without understanding how it functions can leave you vulnerable to errors or inefficiencies. The key is balance. Use leverage to enhance your capabilities, not replace them. Stay involved enough to maintain control while trusting others or systems to handle what they do best. While we're discussing systems, let's talk about habits. Habits are the building blocks of success or failure. Everything you consistently do shapes the trajectory of your life. If you consistently save money, invest wisely, and avoid unnecessary expenses, you'll naturally accumulate wealth over time. On the flip side, if you consistently overspend, neglect your savings, and prioritize short-term pleasures, you'll struggle financially no matter how much you earn. Your habits determine your outcomes, plain and simple. The beauty of habits is that they operate on autopilot. Once established, they require minimal willpower to maintain. This is why developing good habits is so powerful. It sets you up for long-term success without constant effort. But breaking bad habits can be challenging because they're deeply ingrained. The trick is to start small. Instead of trying to overhaul your entire routine overnight, focus on one habit at a time. Want to save more money? Begin by setting aside just $5 a day. Want to improve your health? Commit to drinking water instead of soda. These tiny shifts may seem insignificant at first, but over weeks, months, and years, they create massive change. Now let's shift our attention to mindset again, specifically the importance of gratitude. Gratitude might sound like a fluffy concept, but it has profound effects on your mental and emotional well-being. When you practice gratitude regularly, you train your brain to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. You begin to notice the positives in your life instead of obsessing over what's missing. This shift in perspective not only boosts your happiness, but also enhances your motivation. Why? Because grateful people are more likely to take risks, pursue opportunities, and believe in their ability to succeed. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It simply means acknowledging the good alongside the bad. At the end of each day, take a few moments to reflect on what went well. Did you complete a task you'd been procrastinating on? Did someone offer you kind words or support? Did you experience a moment of joy or connection? Focusing on these positives rewires your brain to seek out more of them in the future. Speaking of connections, let's talk about networking. Building strong relationships is essential for both personal and professional growth. No matter how talented or driven you are, you can't achieve lasting success entirely on your own. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, challenge you, and push you to be your best self. Seek out mentors who can guide you, peers who can collaborate with you, and supporters who can cheer you on during tough times. Relationships are investments. They pay dividends far beyond what money can buy. Networking isn't just about collecting contacts, though. It's about creating genuine connections based on mutual respect and shared values. Show interest in others, ask questions, listen actively, offer help without expecting anything in return. When you approach networking with authenticity, you attract like-minded individuals who genuinely want to see you succeed, and those relationships will serve you for years to come. Let's pivot now to the idea of patience. In today's fast-paced world, everyone wants instant results. We expect quick fixes, overnight successes, and immediate gratification. But true success rarely happens that way. Building wealth, developing skills, and achieving meaningful goals takes time. Patience is not just a virtue, it's a necessity. Without it, you risk giving up too soon or settling for mediocre results. Think of success as planting a tree. You don't dig a hole, drop in a seed, and expect shade the next morning. Trees grow slowly, steadily, and often invisibly at first. But beneath the surface, roots are spreading, branches are forming, and strength is building. Eventually, that tiny seed becomes a towering oak, capable of weathering any storm. Your journey is no different. Celebrate the small victories along the way, knowing that each step brings you closer to your ultimate destination. Patience pairs beautifully with persistence. Persistence is the refusal to quit even when progress feels slow or non-existent. It's showing up every single day, putting in the work, and trusting the process. Some days will feel discouraging, you won't see results, you'll face rejection, or you'll question whether it's worth it. On those days, remind yourself why you started. Visualize the finish line. Lean on your support system. Keep going, because success doesn't belong to the fastest or the smartest. It belongs to the ones who refuse to stop. Now, let's touch on creativity. Creativity isn't limited to artists or writers. It's a skill anyone can cultivate. Whether you're solving problems at work, finding new ways to save money, or brainstorming ideas for a side project, creativity plays a vital role in your success. The most successful people aren't necessarily the ones with the highest IQs. They're the ones who think outside the box, challenge conventional wisdom, and embrace innovation. How do you nurture creativity? Start by exposing yourself to new experiences. Travel, read widely, meet diverse people. Each encounter broadens your perspective and sparks fresh ideas. Don't be afraid to experiment either. Try new approaches, test unconventional solutions, and learn from failures. Creativity thrives in environments where curiosity is encouraged and mistakes are seen as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. While we're on the topic of experimentation, let's discuss the importance of adaptability. Life is unpredictable, markets fluctuate, industries evolve, and circumstances change. The ability to adapt, to pivot when necessary, is critical for long-term success. Rigid thinking leads to stagnation. Flexibility fosters growth. Embrace uncertainty as an opportunity to innovate and improve. Stay open to feedback, adjust your strategies as needed, and remain willing to course correct when circumstances demand it. Adaptability also applies to your mindset. As you grow and learn, your goals and priorities may shift. That's okay. Growth often requires revisiting old decisions and making new ones. What mattered to you 5 years ago might not matter as much today. And that's a sign of maturity, not failure. Allow yourself the freedom to evolve, explore, and redefine what success looks like for you. Let's talk about accountability for a moment. Accountability is the glue that holds everything together. Without it, plans fall apart, habits falter, and goals remain unmet. Holding yourself accountable means taking full responsibility for your actions or lack thereof. It means owning your wins and your losses, celebrating your progress, and addressing your shortcomings head-on. When you hold yourself accountable, you eliminate excuses, and excuses breed results. External accountability can be helpful too. Share your goals with a trusted friend or mentor who can check in on your progress. Join a mastermind group or online community where members encourage and challenge each other. Having someone else invested in your success creates an added layer of motivation. Just make sure you choose accountability partners wisely. Look for people who uplift you, not tear you down. Lastly, let's talk about generosity. Generosity isn't just about giving money, it's about sharing your time, talents, and resources to make a positive impact. When you give freely and authentically, you create ripples that extend far beyond what you initially contribute. Helping others strengthens relationships, builds trust, and reinforces your sense of purpose. Plus, generosity attracts abundance. The more you give, the more you receive. It's a universal principle that benefits everyone involved. Generosity also reminds you of how much you already have. When you focus on contributing to others, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance. You realize that success isn't measured solely by what you accumulate, but also by what you share. Whether it's volunteering your expertise, mentoring someone younger, or simply offering a listening ear, acts of kindness enrich your life in ways material possessions never could. So let me leave you with this thought. Being broke isn't permanent unless you choose to make it so. Every day, you wake up with a chance to rewrite your story. Start small if you have to, but start today. Invest in yourself. Take responsibility, build better habits, surround yourself with greatness. Do these things consistently, and over time, you won't recognize the person staring back at you in the mirror. That's how transformation happens. One decision, one habit, one step at a time. Remember, success doesn't belong to the fastest or the smartest. It belongs to those who refuse to give up. Your future is waiting. Go claim it.